Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this edition of the ACW Newscast. I'm Hakeem Johnson, your ACW commentator, owner, what have you. You know the drill. Today we're going to go over your commented questions as always, including the question that I asked last week. We're going to go over some news about the Elite Tournament, more on ACW's return, and ACW Genesis. So basically, this is going to be a short newscast. It could go long, but I'm going to try to keep it as short as possible. So, I'm not going to try to stretch it out so long. Basically, this should be able to fit YouTube, so that's how short I want it to be today. So first of all, we're going to start with the ACW Elite Tournament. Now, if you guys saw the commercial that I posted on Blip TV and YouTube, you would know the matches already. But just in case you guys forgot, I will announce them. The first round matches are as follows. It'll be Ryu going one-on-one against Kyo. Rona Zoro will face Gara. Edward Elric will face Kai Watari. The Masters of Muay Thai square off as Sagat faces Joe Higashi. Monkey D. Luffy faces Choji Akamichi. Cruiserweight action and Dennis Ness. Real matches in the Cruiserweight champion will face Kankuro. And a possible match of the tournament contender is going to be Klaus Strife and Mugen. So those are the matches. Those are the 8 matches for the round 1 tournament. So round 1 and round 2 will take place in September. The semifinals and finals will take place in October, because this will expand to 2 months. So that's basically how we're going to go with this. And, well, there you go about the ACW Elite Tournament. So, and I'll put more onto that later on in this newscast. Also, we have the ACW mega event coming on. It's called ACW Genesis. By the way, I'm going to start calling my pay-per-views mega events from now on. I'm going to refrain from using the term click per view now, because let's be honest, I mean, every time you're watching an ACW show or any call show for that matter, you're clicking to view it, right? So it doesn't matter if it's a big event or not, you're clicking to view it, so it's kind of a pointless name. So I'm just going to start going with mega events now. And yeah, so this year's ACW mega event will be ACW Genesis, and it will be hosted by ACW Excel. It's coming in December 2011. It will be actually the first show that we do upon ACW's return in December. So I posted the full match card lineup, and here it is right now. Haru Glory will defend his Excel Championship against Hiei in the main event, obviously. Kaneko Man made a shocking debut on ACW, and he will face the man that he confronted that very same night. It'll be Moroku the Monk. It'll be student versus teacher in this Intercontinental title match, as Sasuke Uchiha, the defending reigning champion, will go one-on-one against Kakashi Hatake. Two rivals are starting to reignite their feud again, as Aang will face Zuko, with Aang defending his Excel Road to Destiny Championship that he won at Animania 2. The ACW Excel Tag Team Championships are on the line, as Team Guy goes one-on-one against Street Fighters, the current defending champions. And a match that has its feud debate extending all the way from Turbo. It'll be Momochi Zabuza going one-on-one against the final Turbo champion, Kazuki Muto, the guy that defeated Zabuza for that title at Animania 2. So that's the match card lineup. You'll see it in December on Blue TV and YouTube. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Now, we're going to go right now onto YouTube, and we're going to check the comments and questions that you have for me. So, I'm just going to get on my YouTube. I know you guys can hear the clicks and everything, but, trying to do things fast around here. Big EOT3 said, "Hey, Hakeem, I got a question for you on your next newscast when you do it. Any thoughts about bringing in characters from newer, recent, non-Naruto shows like Soul Eater?" I don't know what that show is, but I do agree on your premise, though. I've been starting to watch new animes. I think I've watched Letter B Reverse. I know it's an old show, but I'm starting to rewatch S Cry ED again. Togeno no Hoku, I think the show is called. I've watched that too. Kind of creepy, but still a good show. If you ignore the homoerotic content there, but still, it's not that bad. But Yeah, and I will get to that premise later on with my newscast question. Bloods 5.031 says, if you have the power to book TNA, how will you do it? Oh my god. I'm sorry, not oh my god on your question, just, TNA right now, it's so poorly booked. The shows are so horrible these days. You can't help but laugh. Just people are being mismanaged left and right. It's crazy. But it's retarded right now because nobody's getting built right now. Nobody important is getting built. Who's getting built? Crimson? Really? Crimson is somebody that you would see on NXT Season 7 and he would be eliminated by the 4th week. That's who Crimson is. And Gunner. Gunner is such a generic-ass name. It's just not even... It's ridiculous. I mean, I really don't know what to say about TNA's direction. Ever since Hogan and Bischoff came into this company, they just completely rolled back everything that made TNA great. And I knew it. I knew they would. There were always these people that, I would talk to in the forums that would say, no, Hogan and Bischoff are here to change the face of TNA. They're going to get it to 2.5 ratings. Oh my gosh. AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, and Matt Morgan are going to be top stars in that company. Hulk Hogan's not here to take anybody's spot like dirt. Well, obviously, I've proven them wrong. And, I knew Hogan and Bischoff weren't here to help build TNA. There was no way in hell they were going to do that. I mean, they didn't even do that in WCW in 2000. I mean, Hulk Hogan worked with Billy Kidman, and Billy Kidman still didn't get over because of Hulk Hogan. TNA was so great. It was so great, and I've been following TNA since when it first began in June 2002. In late 2009, it was looking to be good because AJ Styles was the TNA World Champion. You had the feud with Christopher Daniels and Samoa Joe, where those three finally were in the main event spotlight. Desmond Wolfe and Kurt Angle had their great epic feud with each other. Samoa Joe, like I said, was coming back to main event prominence. The old talent, the aging talent were starting to leave left and right finally, I think. Matt Morgan was on a great big push to stardom. Same thing with the Pope, but a bit minuscule, but still. And then Hogan and Bischoff come in January 4, 2010, thinking they can compete with the WWE. And I don't know, I was happy to see two companies feud on a Monday because it brought me back to the Monday Night Wars, but everybody realistically knew TNA had no shot in beating the WWE that night. And ever since that night, TNA has been so piss poor. Almost every main eventer ever since AJ lost his title has been a WWE or WCW guy. Kurt Angle, Sting, Mr. Anderson, Jeff Hardy, Rob Van Dam. It even makes me feel ill to really read that list of champions we've had these past 2 years, but whatever. I mean, what can you do? But I'm gonna ask you a question because I'm doing this for you. Like, if you didn't ask me this question, I really couldn't give two craps about TNA right now because WWE is just owning them right now so bad, and WWE used to be in the crapper before Bischoff and Hogan came in as well. So, but let me ask you a question. How would I book it? First, the main event scene. You have the Bound for Glory series. You have the four people: Bully Ray, Gunner, James Storm, and Robert Roode. This is the time to give Robert Roode the main event push and give him the main event win so he becomes the world champion. It's long overdue. Same thing with James Storm, but I think Bobby Roode has more of a successful chance to get over as the face of TNA. So what I would do is have Robert Roode win this whole mangled series of a Bound for Glory series. Go to Bound for Glory in the main event against Kurt Angle in his home state of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Have Robert Roode beat Kurt Angle and establish the man to be the top face of the company. You have Robert Roode face people like Sting, Kurt Angle, Jeff Hardy, Rob Van Dam. You establish and build your top guy to mean something. So when people say, I wonder what's on WWE right now. Oh, Randy Orton as champion. Oh, John Cena / Alberto Del Rio as champion. What is on TNA? I don't know who this guy is, but I'm liking what he is so far. Robert Roode, you say? I'm in. That's what you do. You want to build new stars, because as CM Punk and others have said recently, there might not be a business in 20 or 30 years because the same people are always in the same damn spot, and they're not putting people over enough to create stars that can carry the company, their respective companies, within the next 10, 20, 30 years. So you put Robert Roode in the main event scene as your champion. You also take AJ Styles in the main event scene again. Not as champion because he was starting to get stale after he was teaming up with Flair, but AJ Styles as a main event contender would always be great because AJ Styles is always reliable in great matches and is a believable company man. James Storm is also a person I want to see in the main event because James Storm has been underutilized and underappreciated for his talents. He has, great talents, great enough to be a champion and in the main event scene right now. So I would give James Storm another rub. Matt Morgan, this baffles me because Matt Morgan should have been a world champion by now. You had Matt Morgan versus Kurt Angle at Bound for Glory in 2009, where Matt Morgan should have went over. And even if Matt Morgan didn't go over, Matt Morgan should still been built up as this main event person that could be believable. That's what should have happened. It's just ridiculous to me. Matt Morgan should be right now a world champion because he has the look, he has the size, he has the talent for a big man. He has the mic skills to go with it. I mean, I have no idea why people do not capitalize on Matt Morgan. He's made a quite name for himself in TNA after his stuttering gimmick in WWE that pretty much ruined his chances there. So Matt Morgan has reestablished himself and made himself look like a legitimate threat to the main event scene. I don't know why he's not a world champion by now, but I would put him there definitely. The Pope, I'm a mark for. I'm a fan for. I've been a fan of Elijah Brooks for a while since the New Breed. Elijah Brooks, ever since he's become the Pope in TNA, he's been so charismatic. He has great talents, tremendous mic skills, probably one of the best in the company. So I thought TNA made a big mistake when him and AJ Styles had lockdown in 2010, fought for the world title, and they didn't give Pope the win there. They didn't give Pope the world title there. I think they should have done that. There should have been a way for someone fresh and new in the main event scene to be seen as a world champion, but, it's TNA. So I put the Pope there. Now, for the tag team division, I love tag team wrestling. I am a mark for tag teams. You can have two horrible wrestlers in the tag team, and I'll somehow mark for them because I just love tag teams so much. So, Mexican America are the tag team champions, which, facepalm worthy. But you have them as champion. You can get people like the British Invasion. You can get people like the Mostly Machine Guns once Sabin is back. Bring back the Young Bucks if you can, but I think they're on the row. Ring of Honor. Get some new talent from the Indies, maybe like the Dark City Fight Club. I think that's their name. I kind of maybe messed it up, but you know who I'm talking about. The Briscoe brothers, but again, they're in row as well. So that's what I'm saying. Just inject some new blood in the tag team division because that's one of the great things TNA was so great at doing. TNA always was doing things WWE weren't doing. Back in between 04 and 0, ever since 05, 06 and onward, WWE's tag team division has been piss poor, close to the point of non-existent, and TNA has always capitalized that they had the best mainstream tag team wrestling that they had to offer. And they need to go back to those basics. The Knockouts division is such a mangled mess as well, and it used to be one of the bright points of the show back then with Gail Kim, Awesome Kong, and Taylor Wilde, and who else am I missing? The Beautiful People, the original Beautiful People back then. It's just such a mess. So I would take out all the people that really can't wrestle, or really can't work in the ring, or have no purpose in being there, and just have your Mickey Jameses, your Winters, your Angelina Loves, your Taras, your Madison Rains, your ODBs in the ring, and just wrestle. And I'm not even a fan of ODB. I can't stand her or the gimmick. I don't think she's ugly because people think she's ugly. It's the gimmick that makes her ugly. I've seen her without the gimmick. She's not bad. Okay, but it's still I can't stand her gimmick. I can't really stand her in TNA. But she is a pretty good, decent wrestler. So I'd keep her there. Just have your wrestlers in the women's division hire some new blood there. Mercedes Martinez, Sarah Del Rey. Who else am I missing here? Madison Eagles. All those women wrestlers. Bring back Ayako Hamada, Dorp, or bring back Alyssa Flash, cheerleader, or Melissa. You know what I'm saying? Just like if you want to sell sex, that's fine because sex always sells, no matter who tells you otherwise. But don't make it to a point where it's degrading, where that's all they have to offer. Show these women wrestling, and I promise you they will come. Now I will give TNA this credit though, because the X Division, because before Destination X this year, the X Division has been booked into multi-man matches that no one gives a crap about. 2-minute matches on TV that mean nothing for anybody involved, or they're just non-existent. They're not shown at all. And with releases with Petey Williams and Jay Lethal and the Young Bucks now, people thought the X Division was slowly dying, and Amazing Red. But ever since the Destination X review, they're starting to get the groove back, and the X Division looks like it's coming back in great folds. You have Brian Kendrick as your TNA X Division champion, which I really can't stand now because Brian Kendrick is really just being lazy there now. Sorry. You have Austin Aries, who should be the champion because he's really the only great thing about it. That stands out. You have Alex Shelley there until Chris Sabin comes back. You have Kid Cash returning, one of the best heels in the X Division history. You have those guys. And you have the new guys like Jesse Sorensen. You have Zema Ion. You have Tony Nese. Who else? I think you have, his name is Greg Haskins. You have all these new X Division talent that are being signed, and you have all these great talent there that could probably carry the division for a couple of years. So it's great to see some new blood inject into it, at the same time some entertaining matches that do mean something now. So I'm very happy for. I'm happy about the X Division right now. It's great. It's pretty good right now. So yeah, I mean, that's how I would pick TNA, because right now it's just TNA is just so horrible right now. I think the main event for No Surrender, I think next week, is Kurt Angle versus Sting. Really? How many times have we seen that already? They probably had maybe one good match with each other. And that was, I think, at Bound for Glory 07. Yeah, probably that. But really, we're doing this again. Sting, who has become a parody of himself, he's doing this Joker gimmick that is just so degrading to his career. Then you have Kurt Angle, turning heel for no reason. I guess, he believes Hulk Hogan when Hogan told him that, Dixie knew about the relationship between him, Jeff, and Karen. Even though I would ask, why would you believe Hogan since he's a don't liar anyways? But that's beside the point. Angle turns heel and no one cares. I mean, I don't care, because why? You just turned him heel just to turn him heel. And it's looking like it's going to be, I want Rude to win the series, but it's looking like it could be Angle versus Gunner for the title at Bound for Glory, which would suck because no one would buy it, no one would care. Or it could be him and Crimson, which would be worse. Jeff Hardy comes back. I don't care. I really don't. I have no sympathy for him. Victory Road is the final straw. You have to think about it, folks. People paid to see that pay-per-view. People paid to go see that pay-per-view. And some paid for the Impact Zone. Some came in for free, but my point still stands. People paid to see that pay-per-view. People paid to see Jeff Hardy versus Sting as the main event. What Jeff Hardy did at that main event was so deplorable, was so despicable, was so disappointing. I shook my head for like a good minute or two. Jeff Hardy did disservice for the company. He did disservice to the wrestlers. He did disservice to his fans. He did disservice to the viewers. And he sure as hell did disservice to himself. That was the final straw. Jeff Hardy has been getting strikes on this kind of behavior in his first run in TNA and in this current run in TNA, with the current charges going up against him, and then his deals with Matt already, because Matt's already more cuckoo than Jeff apparently. I don't care. Jeff Hardy shouldn't be around TNA. He shouldn't be around wrestling, period. He should be right now getting rehab and fixing his life together, because right now wrestling is the last thing he needs right now. And anybody that is saying, oh, well, you know, I want to see Jeff Hardy back. I want to see him get off ladders, and, you know, I want to see him wrestle again because I'm a fan of Jeff Hardy. I think Jeff Hardy wants to wrestle again. You are all selfish pricks. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You guys are selfish, because if you are a real Jeff Hardy fan, you would be concerned enough for him to say, wrestling is not your thing right now. You should go get rehab. The people that say that want to see Jeff Hardy, you know, wrestle again and do matches again and fall off stuff again, when you clearly know Jeff Hardy is not 100% capable of doing those things, then you are selfish. Because you know what? Jeff Hardy right now could be getting rehab. He could right now be getting things sorted together. He has a wife and a kid now. And not only that, his brother right now is more of a mess than he is, and he could be right now fixing his life. But no, TNA, knowing that they need a big star in Jeff Hardy, which he is, knowing that they need somebody to build this company around, they bring back Jeff Hardy. Of course, Jeff Hardy says he wants to wrestle, even though he's 100% not willing to. And of course, TNA being the incompetent dumbasses that they are, they let him back in. I wouldn't be surprised 2 months from now if Matt Hardy just gets re-signed by TNA again, so we have the epic Hardy Boys reunion. Oh! That's how stupid this company is. And and to top it off, and to just put the icing on the crab cake, Hulk Hogan and versus Sting is pretty much the rumored match going on for Bound for Glory this year, with Ric Flair having some involvement. Now, after you're done with your WTF moment, I'll just repeat it again. Hulk Hogan versus Sting with Ric Flair involvement. No, folks, we're in 2011. This is 1995. Trust me, I checked the calendars and everything. But this is what I'm saying. Like, this could be a spot for a up-and-coming young star to finally crop their tone on your biggest stage of the year. And you give it to Sting, who is a 50-year-old joke now, who can't wrestle well anymore, who is old and not agile as he was. And then you have Hulk Hogan, who has multiple injuries. He's getting up there in age, and yet he has multiple back injuries and leg injuries and what have you, and he's going to get back in the ring apparently. And then you have Ric Flair coming up here bleeding every week on TV as if anyone gives a damn anymore. Ric Flair is a legend, but his run in TNA has been so pathetic, so sad to watch a great wrestler and a great performer in Ric Flair just be reduced to being Hulk Hogan's butt buddy, which is also sucks and it is sad. Hey, I'm 20 years old, okay? I'm a young dude. I'm 20 years old. That doesn't mean I don't know my wrestling history. I like to watch back old school matches and old school history and get a sort of glimpse about my wrestling history, okay? Hogan and Flair for about 20 and 30 years had always had a heated rivalry with each other. Whether Hogan was the bad guy or Flair was the good guy, or whether Flair was the bad guy and Hogan was the good guy. Those two always hate each other. They always were the opposite sides of the spectrum. They would always feud with each other indirectly or directly towards each other. And the fact now that in TNA, Hogan and Flair are basically butt buddies, just doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing. Again, another reason why TNA is so incompetent to do nothing. Oh well, but you know, that's basically what I think about TNA. You know, TNA, get your act together, because I'm still a fan. I've been with you in 2002. I've seen the worst and the best from you. And so that's why I'm still here, because I want to see you guys succeed, but this is not going to cut it. This is not going to do anything. You guys were supposed to be the reason that we're supposed to have a wrestling boom. Keep in mind, people, TNA is supposed to be the perpetrators that caused another wrestling boom in wrestling ever since the Attitude Era ended. And they haven't done that yet. And they sure as hell won't do it now. So, TNA, I still love you guys I still love you guys because we need competition in wrestling, but this is ridiculous. And you better fix it quick, because Ring of Honor's coming in September, and you damn well know Ring of Honor's going to bring it, so I'm just saying. And sorry about that, long tangent, rant, / thing, whatever. It's just my current views of the wrestling business is just so, it's just so complex. I just want to get it out there and whatever. Finally, Dark Knight 777R says XL should be on SmackDown vs. Raw 2010, while Impulse should be on SmackDown vs. Raw 2011. The only way I'm going to change the model is because it's going to be WWE 12. WWE 12 is a video game that I will do commentary on eventually. I just need to get things worked out a bit. But WWE 12 looks like a great game. Weight detection has been finally fixed. You can finally defend the titles in your matches, exhibition matches. Universe mode looks better, they said. You have great legends this year. You have Demolition, you have the Road Warriors, you have Kevin Nash, Booker T, Shawn Michaels. You know, you have those. You have Eddie. I think you have Eddie Guerrero there this year as well. Just great legends there this year that people will really love. The only thing I just need to look at is the creative wrestler mode, the call mode, obviously, because for ACW purposes. But I need to look on those to see what's added and what's removed this year, and that's probably going to be the breaking point if I buy this game or not. If the call mode sucks, then I really have no interest in buying it because I won't really play it like I used to. But if the call mode is up to par with great, games such as Day of Reckoning and No Mercy and the early SmackDown vs. Raw games, then I could possibly be seeing buying it. But that's the only way I'm going to change the ACW model if I get WWE 12. So thank you guys for those comments and questions. I know I was doing a lot there, and I know I said I was going to keep this short, but I'm going to try still. So thank you for those comments and questions, and just send more comments and questions on the ACW YouTube channel, or just message me a question on the inbox, and I will answer them on the next episode of the newscast. Now, before we go, I need to ask the two newscast questions for this week. Number one, here's the first one, so listen carefully. What recent anime show that you have seen or you have heard from would you recommend me watching and would be a great asset to ACW? I'll repeat it again. What recent anime show that you have seen, heard, or watched would you recommend me watching and would be a great benefit to ACW? That's the first question. The second question is, who should and will win the ACW Elite Tournament of 2011? There's 16 choices, obviously, and you'll choose from those 16, but that's the question. Who should and will win the ACW Elite Tournament 2011? So those two questions will be posted on the newscast. Well, they'll be posted on the website, or they've already been posted. So they're going to be posted on the website, or they already have, and you'll answer the poll like you did last time, and such like that. So that's it for the newscast. Like I said, I was going to keep it short as possible because one, Actually, there is one more news. Actually, I did forget to neglect on one news thing. YouTube, for some reason that YouTube has I'm shocked at this as well. YouTube has finally granted the ACW channel, the anime ACW on YouTube. YouTube has finally granted me the ability to upload videos more than 15 minutes. And my jaw was kind of like, what? But I'm glad because, I don't like restrictions on my videos because then I have to split them into parts and it gets so tiring to do. Trust me, it gets tiring to do. You guys have no idea how much tired you get after making a video. Even if it's for 3 minutes, you don't know how much you get tired doing that. So YouTube has finally allowed us to upload videos longer than 15 minutes, and that's great. That means it'll be beneficial to us on ACW. By the way, ACW is going to have a new video interface look. Everything's going to be looking so cleaner now. I'm going to be doing and experimenting new things. I'm going to be doing and experimenting new things on ACW that you'll probably see on the ACW Elite Tournament matches as we go along. But I'll be doing new things, and I'll be trying to make sure I can get used to those new changes as well as you guys do. So that's the final news. So that's it for the newscast today. I'll see you guys next week. I'll let you guys know about the current Elite Tournament news. Maybe some news on Genesis, probably a new concept on ACW that I'm actually going to work on starting next year. Maybe. And that's about it for this week of ACW Newscast. So for me, Hakeem Johnson, this is Hakeem Johnson telling you guys to stay cool. And I'll see you guys next week.